This is a rhetorical analysis of the game studies discourse by Schlesinger. This video explores the rhetoric of logos, ethos, and pathos used by different disciplines that research scholars are from to analyze video games. With this aim, this video will examine some of the other disciplines that are diving into game studies. Furthermore, investigate the academic genres found for this video, mainly process analysis and research papers. Ultimately, I argue that game studies is just as serious as other academic disciplines. So, what is game studies? Game studies explores the cultural impact of games for the person playing and historically for society at large. The discourse for digital game studies, however, is fairly new academically. The game studies research is exceedingly complex due to trying to find a methodology for digital video games, which are more sophisticated than people realize. Dr. Latour, PhD with emphasis in social communications, illustrates, however, analyzing the video game discourse is extraordinarily challenging at the methodological level. The expressive dimension in video games contains, among others, elements of verbal language, audiovisual language, and narrative structure. But video games transmit meaning essentially through the distinctive language of their own, the language of ludic design, that is, the game rule design and ludic interactive dynamics. So, what does this mean? In other words, because video games include many different elements, the discourse is having a hard time finding a single method for research. Moreover, if there are different complex elements to video games, then having different academic disciplines will help confer more understanding for the discourse. Game studies for video games has many different academic disciplines researching this field. Because the digital game discourse is new, trying to establish ethos is undeniably essential. For example, by looking at the biography, the academic author's backgrounds are from communications, inquiry methodology, learning science, and social communications. As you can see, the diversity in game studies is varied. Without a doubt, game studies needs to use sources from other academic disciplines for the basis of arguments. For instance, Myers' research includes 42 different references. In Myers' case, he found information from the academic fields of communications and American folklore to help his research. As has been noted, all scholars will use what sources they can to further their research. Game studies is no different. Again, because the discourse is new, establishing ethos through the use of research is vital. Logos in game studies, as in other disciplines, will have its preferred academic genres. Consider Latour's description of the process analysis of ludology for the player character in video games. The ludic design of video games influences the representation of character player by defining their scope of action competencies through the combination of 4 types of game rules: performance rules, operation rules, state rules, and rules for inducing behaviors. In addition, the game mechanics play an important role in the representation of the character player. In other words, Latour is explaining the steps of the ludology process to show how it can work for researching digital games in the game's discourse. Myers also helps to establish more research through the use of logos in game studies by discovering more facts in his research paper. Myers was investigating what the hardcore gaming audience was by using survey data. He found, all told, 393 participants completed the survey, of which the vast majority were males, 95.5%, between the ages of 18 and 30. Since there was little under 400 people who took the survey, game studies has another stepping stone of research to build on. Rhetorical appeals to pathos for game studies has an inclination to focus mostly on the games themselves. For example, research by Fenwold and Phelps uses pathos to explain games that question the player's morals. In the Prisoner's Dilemma game, two individuals awaiting trial are simultaneously presented with a bargain. They can testify against the other or remain silent. The payoff is dependent on what both players simultaneously, without communication, choose to do. If they betray each other, they suffer together. If they remain silent, they also suffer together, but to a lesser extent. And if only one betrays the other, they serve no time, while the other serves the highest possible punishment. Fenwold and Phelps expounds on the prisoner's dilemma by using pathos to help the reader understand the difficulties of playing the game. In conclusion, even though the study for digital video games is relatively new academically, the discourse still uses plenty of ethos, logos, and pathos from other academic disciplines. Equally important is the research analysis of game studies. To quote Adam Savage from Mythbusters, the only difference between screwing around and science is writing it down.